Y'all ever wonder why buy here, pay here car lots charge such exorbitant interest for older cars with lots of miles and they're going to come repo you the day you're late? You ever wonder that? Well, my name's Tom. I'm a used car dealer. I run a buy here, pay here used car lot, and I'm going to explain to you why this is. It's an age old question: chicken or the egg, yin and yang, high interest or high defaults. Let's get into what makes this happen. So when you think about buy here, pay here used car dealers, what do you think? You think crappy part of town, old rundown facility, old rundown cars that cost twice what they should, with a high down payment, a weekly payment, and yeah, it's just not a good experience. And a lot of people might feel sorry for the people and say that the buy here, pay here guy is a predatory lender out to hurt these people. Yet you see these buy here, pay here lots all over town. If it was that bad, wouldn't the state shut them down? Well, let me explain to you how this business works. And then I'm going to tell you some unpleasant truths that you'll either laugh at me, yell at me, but either way, you'll walk away with another perspective. So let me ask a question. If you're a reasonable person, you're walking down the street, you have a choice of buying a $30,000 car that's brand new or 2 years old and has a warranty and a monthly payment at a low interest rate, or you have the option of buying a 20-year-old car with 200,000 miles on it at a high interest rate where you have to make a weekly payment. Which one would you pick? Well, most everybody's going to pick the newer car with the monthly payment and the lower interest, right? Well, that's most people that can. The unfortunate reality is the buy here, pay here customer doesn't have anywhere else to go. They don't have a friend to loan them $1,000 or give them an extra car. As a matter of fact, why they're there is the main source of the problem. You see, if you're at a buy here, pay here dealer, that dealer already knows that you're a credit risk. And you're a credit risk because if you had credit, you would be at a different dealership. You're a credit risk because your credit is bad, which means you have a history of not paying your bills on time. Now, does that mean you're a bad person? No. Hell, I've had bad credit from time to time. It happens. My credit report goes like this through my life. It is what it is. Doesn't mean you're a bad person, does mean you have a history of not paying your bills on time. And then the last reason is you have screwed every friend you have to where even your mama won't co-sign for you. So that tells us what we need to know right there. Now, one of the things I do at my shop, I call it buy here, pay here with dignity. I don't ask questions. I don't care. I'm going to treat everybody with the same respect and dignity. All I care about is, do you have the requirements to be financed, and are you going to make your payment on time? And I always say that buy here, pay here should be a stepping stone to a better life. Maybe you just got out of jail. Maybe you just went through a divorce. Maybe you just got back on your feet after losing a job and the last car was repossessed. Yeah, it sucks to pay this higher rate, but the reality is you are a risk. And so use this as a stepping stone. I'm going to take this car, I'm going to pay this exuberant rate, I'm going to get back to work, I'm going to clean up my mess, I'm going to get my credit fixed, I'm going to go out and get a better job and a better car, and this is temporary. I see so many people that this is their lifestyle, and this really should be a temporary situation. So let's start looking at what the buy here, pay here dealer offers. Well, most of us offer 10, 15, 20 or more year old cars. They're all high mileage, 150, 200,000 miles. And if the car is $3,000 on Marketplace, it might be $4,000 at our lot. Why is that? Well, to start with, when we buy these cars from the dealer auction, they always need something. So we're going to have some repair and make ready costs. We're going to catch that it needs a battery. We're going to catch that it needs front brakes. So when you go buy the $3,000 car off Marketplace, you may be spending some money to make that car right. Theoretically, we have made our car right. Next, the car is here and ready to go. You don't have to do any more footwork about it. All right? So that is why the cars are a little older and a little more expensive. And now, the elephant in the room, what is the other reason that they're a little more expensive? Well, the shady dealers, you could say they're a little more expensive because they can be. But the reality is they're a little more expensive because not only are we a used car dealer trying to make a profit, we are also trying to offset all the other losses we're taking from cars that we don't get back, or they get totaled or repoed and they're useless, or they blow up the motor or whatever. So for the benefit of getting financed, you're going to pay a little bit more money. Talk about interest rates. So I believe in Texas, the law allows for 30% APR. So you can't say we're a predatory lender if we are operating within the law. So 30%. Now, when I do buy here, pay here, I do 20%. And the reason I have that higher interest rate is because I know there is a default rate, right? If we were running people's credit and they were all Class A customers with no history of delinquency and this and that, the probability that I would be paid in the entirety would be much higher. But the reality is we're not running credit, and the people that we're dealing with, we know have a history of not paying their bills, or they wouldn't even be here. And so we have a higher possibility of a default. All right. So don't get me wrong. A lot of my customers, they pay on time. They're good people. There's never a problem. But there is a certain element that maybe they come in, they get a car, they make one payment, and then you never see them again. And you got to track that car down. You got to fix it back up. You got to market it again. You got to sit on their personal items till they come get them. There's expenses in there that they add up. So have you ever bought a buy here, pay here car from a little tiny car dealer? And how did it work out for you? I'd be curious in the comments below. The people watching this video, are you a dealer? Are you a dealer that does buy here, pay here? Are you a guy that hates the buy here, pay here industry and thinks we're all scumbags? Let me know down below how you found me, what you think of me, what your history is. I'm just curious, and I'd really appreciate it. It definitely helps the algorithm as well. It's funny, buy here, pay here, title loans, payday loans, that kind of stuff. We're all in the same boat. We are extending money to a group of people who have a proven history of not being able to make their payments. It's sad. Circumstances happen. Bad credit does not make you a bad person, but it does make you more of a risk. And that is why you get charged more interest. So I guess if I had a point to this, guys, high interest is because of high risk. And people don't like to talk about that. They think we're crappy. A lot of times we deal with more minority customers, which is funny. I speak no Spanish, and I don't really get a lot of Spanish customers, probably because of that. But I deal with as many whites and blacks as it's probably 50-50. And I haven't found any sort of system as to who is or isn't going to pay me. My customer base is 50-50, and probably my repo log is 50-50. So it is what it is. But let's just be honest. The dealer is in a risky situation. We're going to put this car on the street. We're going to hope that you're going to pay us in our entirety so that we can make a profit. Now, the reality is some people are not going to do that. There's going to be a default. Other people are going to pay you off early, and be wonderful customers. Because there is that risk that we are not going to get paid, we're going to charge a higher rate. And the government recognizes this fact, because if they didn't think it was a higher risk, they wouldn't allow us to have higher interest rates. Remember that. Even Uncle Sam knows people with poor credit are going to have a higher interest rate because there's a greater risk. So when I do buy here, pay here, I really encourage my folks to use it as a stepping stone. I hope you understand now why we charge so much interest. It is what it is. I made another video about this that's a little bit longer. I'm going to link it to this video. It's a couple years old now, but the reality still stands. And, don't firebomb the next buy here, pay here dealer you see or MF them. We're business people. We're trying to collect our money and make a living and support our families just like you are. And we're providing a service to folks that wouldn't necessarily get a service somewhere else.